Children of the night, what music they make.
They're all gonna laugh at you!
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What's up?
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash you a bit.
Welcome back to Final Guys, your favorite vanilla-faced podcast. This is where all the cool kids show up to talk about horror movies. And we are the uncoolest kids in the whole class. Hunter, Timmy, Jason, what's up, fellas?
What's up?
Yo! By the way, I just wanted to bring my friend today. He is my CPR practice dummy. I got recertified in CPR today.
I don't want to know what you've been doing with that.
He wants to hang out with us. It's a tight fit, but you know. So he's going to hang out with me all night tonight.
Looks a bit used.
He is. I did chest compressions on him. It said Little Annie, but there's no boobs on. I don't know.
It looks like Belial a little bit.
Yeah, it does.
This thing scared the crap out of my daughter. It so unnerves her.
You should definitely just put that in someone's window, like on the outside, like one of your neighbors.
What's the crusty stuff around the mouth?
I wasn't going to go that far. But...
Because after I saved your life, we're going to party, and you owe me one.
Okay, I'd rather just die.
Well, it's good that you know CPR because this week we are going to engage in some Mortal Kombat.
Dun, 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 dun,
Also,
dun,
I got to
dun.
punch this thing because I can't reach you guys from here. That's why he's up here.
I can't wait to talk about this movie, but we got to get through some stuff before.
I think it's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah, sure is.
So, anything to bring up before we get into the drinking words?
No,
I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
What
I'll
are
do
the drinking words?
All right. We all know the rules. We say these words. You drink these words. All right. Jack's words are fun, cage, and quarters. Mine are Jack's, arcade, and fight. Jason's is howling, bad, and scorpion. Old Spice. Wow. Does Old Spice have hair care product?
They probably do.
Shampoo,
Yeah.
I think.
So your words are plot, Raiden? Radon? I don't know what the fuck the word that is.
Raiden, man. It's Raiden.
He was in the movie we're talking
Literally in the movie. One of the main
I don't know
characters.
anybody's name from that friggin' thing.
Yeah,
Oh my
exactly.
God. You guys are
And the
so
bonus
old.
words are gore. This one I know, Kano, and I know Sub-Zero. So here
Robinson Cano.
we go. Movie
Oh, I'm
called
sorry.
on
I'm
DVDs.
sorry, Tim and Jason. That's a sports reference you probably wouldn't get because
Ugh,
your video.
that's not
What
what
do you-
Steelers are
What are you
Giants.
talking about? I'm a huge sports fan.
Yeah, whatever. Cano.
Only nerds get into sports with all their fantasy crap.
That's me. That's what I do.
I do too. I get so deep into fantasy football.
Oh man, fantasy football ruined my enjoyment of the game, so I had to stop playing.
I'm doing fantasy baseball right now, and fantasy baseball is insane. Like, it's fantasy football, but literally every single day. It's
Every day, yeah, that's crazy.
I quit fantasy baseball a long time ago. Every day was way too much.
What a quitter.
Listen, man, I was doing fantasy sports before these computers where we had to look up
Oh,
stuff
yeah?
in magazines.
Yeah,
That's just too much work.
I do.
Chiseled
fantasy
your team
female
onto a
tennis.
stone tablet.
Yes.
And we shall call them the Campeses.
Moses had a killer team. All right. Those are interesting drinking words. Cheers to anybody who's following them.
Guess I could take them off the screen.
All right. Couple of quick pieces of news. Remember how I said that there was going to be a Addams Family spinoff about Young Wednesday on Netflix by Tim Burton?
Yep.
Well, he hasn't. I guess he's narrowed down the choices for Wednesday, which I didn't know anybody's names, but he is trying to get Christina Ricci to come back as Morticia.
Oh, wow. She looks like her now. She could be her.
I would be
All right, that's interesting.
I would be very in favor of that.
I like Christina. I haven't seen her in much since that like Hemingway. No, that F. Scott Fitzgerald series she did.
She did that Lizzie Borden thing.
Oh yeah, that was pretty good too. Can't believe that didn't get renewed. That was
watch it.
better than I thought it would be.
I'm trying to think of what the hell the last thing I saw her in was.
She was in
Black
that movie
Snake
where she was the corpse on the table with the who the heck else is in that?
I think that's it. I think that's the last time I saw her. That and Black Snake Moan.
Jesus, and those
Black
are
Snake
10 years
Moan,
ago.
Old.
Yeah,
That's like
I don't know- I can't
15
think-
years ago.
I can't think of anything I've seen her in.
Sam Jackson was only like 70 when he did that one.
Maybe I'm just remembering all the times she was naked in films. Those are the ones that are popping in my head.
It could be. It's all right. It shows you're healthy.
All right. The other piece of news is along the trend that we've seen for everything that from our childhood becoming a TV series, or every horror property becoming a TV series.
Mhm.
Here's the next couple. Lionsgate is. They were talking about stuff that's in the hopper in development, and the two horror properties that came up were American Psycho and Saw as TV series. Now,
I wouldn't watch a minute of a Saw TV series.
you've got this Chris Rock reboot coming this year.
Next month, I think.
So yeah, I don't know how much I need a Saw series. American Psycho, if they some of these series they call it like Bates Motel, you thought that's going to be crap, and then it was good.
Oh my god, it's such a surprise.
I wonder if American Psycho could be something like that, where you just take the premise and then and the spirit of it, but you go off with something different.
I mean, I could see that lasting longer and being more interesting than Saw for anything more than an hour.
I so couldn't give a shit about any of this stuff at this point. Like, just give me something new. I need a TV series about Saw now. Like,
Wait,
I'd watch it,
me that they've made a movie out of my favorite game, Battleship.
Yeah,
That's going to happen.
And how do we not have a Stratego movie?
Battleship had what's her name in it? Who's the singer that was in it? Rihanna.
Rihanna's in them. Oh god,
she's in Battleship.
Never
They
saw.
should do Shrinky Dinks the movie.
Shrinky Dinks.
I just want to see
Color Forms versus Shrinky Dinks.
Color Forms.
what was the Starbright thing where you traced the patterns on the paper?
Oh, Light Bright.
Light Bright.
That was it. Light Bright. We need a Light Bright movie now.
I think that's up here too. It is. It's right over there. It's all up here.
How about a Saw movie with an easy bake oven?
Creepy crawlers.
Creepy
Slinky, the movie.
Slinky, the movie.
Let's green light that right now.
Steve Barnard points out American Psycho will end up as a shitty Dexter clone. I think he could be right there.
You might be onto something.
That's all the news that's fit to print. I didn't have time to go through news this week.
Nipples are hard as diamonds from those news stories.
Somebody else is welcome to do the news or be funny during it.
You can't control the news. See, because you're not giving fake news. You're giving real news. Some days, it's not much news. So there, good for you.
I appreciate the news, actually, Jack.
I do too.
Just want to let you know that you're doing a great job.
Thank you very much.
Usually lets me know what to avoid. What to dread, what to avoid.
At least we're coming out of the pandemic, so now all the news isn't just this movie has been delayed. This movie has been delayed. This movie's been canceled.
Yeah, we're
All
back
right.
to the usual. Oh, it's a bunch of shit I don't care about.
Yay.
All right, let's get to what we watched this week.
All right.
We have such sights to show you.
Okay, I think the way to do this is to let Jason go first because we need to hear about Howling movies.
Totally.
And it's like a good way to reset the clock as each one of us goes.
Guys, it's getting worse, man. I'm calling it. I've now watched 5, but I was about 20 minutes into 4, and I said, "This is it. This is the worst series ever made." And I don't even think it's close. This shit is making Amityville look like Shakespeare.
So wait, I would think that the Hellraiser would be the worst, but this is
Oh no, Hellraiser at least has like some gore, a little bit of entertainment. So 4 is a remake of 1. It's the same story. They just decided we're going to reboot the series now.
It's the Force Awakens of the Howling.
ew, what the heck? Why?
It's way, way worse than The Force Awakens in the remake category. Like instead of going to a resort, they go to a little town. Otherwise, it's the same story. Like the town are comprised of wolves. The sex pot female works the husband over until he cheats. Like it's the same freaking story, but it's done so much worse because they dub all the audio, every single thing. They recorded no audio for the movie.
Oh,
so when you're watching
cheap. That's why.
Yeah, it looks like the shittiest Italian piece of crap you've ever seen in your life. But what made it worse is as soon as it starts, I see in the credits Clive Barker's name pop up.
What?
Not Clive Barker, Clive Turner. Clive Barker would have made me happy.
I was gonna freak out.
I was gonna say,
Wait, what?
how do I not know that?
Clive Turner. This is the man who wrote, directed, produced, edited, and starred in The Howling 7. So his name popped up, and I was like, oh, fuck. This is going to be bad. And it was brutal to sit through.
Wow.
There are no werewolves in the movie. I think at
I
the
thought I saw
very
a picture there.
I think at the very end, last 5 minutes, that's it. That's all you see of them. The rest of it is just people wandering around this fucking town and hearing wolves howl at night. That's the movie.
That
If you're
is
going to
like,
do a werewolf movie, you got to produce a werewolf, right?
It's
yeah,
so brutal.
I would lose my mind if I watched that movie.
It was so mindlessly boring. I was thinking, because it said he only produced this one. So I started looking up Howling 4 trivia, and the director is like, yeah, I never met the writer, and I kept trying to meet him, and he kept coming up with excuses, and I'm pretty sure Clive Turner invented the writer's name and was writing the story and like sending it to me while we were shooting it. And then apparently Clive Turner reshot and re-edited some of it when it was done, which is why it's a boring mess, because this man is the most boring filmmaker in history.
Come on. He's the producer of Lawnmower Man 2 Beyond Cyberspace.
Oh,
Easy for you to say.
And
If you-
Lawnmower Man. I know, really.
Lawnmower Man 2, I haven't seen the whole thing. That is bad.
It's funny you mention Howling 4 trivia because they have that every week down at the bar around the corner from my house.
This also has the transformation you were talking about, Tim.
oh,
where
the
a guy
crazy
melts.
ass like 8 minutes long or something
He
ridiculous.
just continues to melt, and the effect is pretty cool, but it is
I love
shot horribly. Like
Hmm.
it looks so bad. It
fucking
looks
love
so
it.
bad. I'm wondering if there's another one in another movie coming up, maybe in part 6 or something, because this was way worse than I remember because I've seen the clips on YouTube or Facebook.
Yeah.
This was trash. And by the time I finished, I bought a 6-foot length of rope on Amazon. 'Cause I just don't think I'm going to finish this series.
Wait, let me send it that YouTube had to make the knot.
Hey, Jason, don't be stupid. Ask somebody to send you one.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Get like
everyone in the chat would send me one.
a Patreon. Go Patreon.
Hey, give him Jack.
Oh, it is so hard to describe how bad this series is. I mean, it's unbelievable.
How many more to go?
I'm
right?
going to talk about 5 tonight, and then I have to watch 6 and 7. And
There's
7.
not an 8?
There might be an 8, but I never knew about one. Maybe there's a new one.
The
Like,
rope
I'll
might
look.
come before 8. So
And by the way, folks, we are playing around with maybe making Howling 7 a main feature.
That would be so much fun because I don't want to watch this shit by myself.
I'm
Share
down.
the pain.
I mean, after this week, I'm what the hell?
Oh, goddamn, you guys. There is a Howling Reborn that came out in 2011.
Nice.
I knew there was another one in there.
Damn it.
It's
All
just
right.
on given.
I hate you guys.
You can't stop.
It's like the Jelly of the Month Club.
I'm sure that's really good. I never even knew it came out.
All right, Sub Hero, what do you got for us?
All right. So I went and watched a movie that came out in 1998 called The Last Broadcast.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Full of Jersey Devils. Everywhere.
Yeah. So I remember watching this, I think when it first came out, because obviously I live like 20 minutes from the Pine Barrens. Know a lot about the Jersey Devil. And yeah, I mean, this was kind of a big movie, I think, when it came out around that time, or at least in my area. So I remember
Only
watching
in
it.
your area.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on, Vanilla Faces showed up in the chat. We're just gonna
Yes.
Oh, well,
Thanks, Chopper Caroni.
thank
Although
you.
Steve Barnard called us Vanilla Faces much earlier.
Yeah. Am I good? Can I go?
Yeah, you're good. Go for it.
All right. So yeah, this is basically a found footage-esque movie. It's like half found footage, half mockumentary.
Well, it
And-
stops being found footage like in the last 10 minutes of the movie.
Well, it's like it starts off like mockumentary, and then in the middle of the movie, like it gets like real found footagey, and then yeah, at the end again, it like
It just
I don't-
abandons it and becomes a regular movie.
yeah, it's an interesting film for sure. But yeah, I don't know. It's it wasn't as bad as it's still bad, but there's like a charm to it because it's so bad. I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, you're right.
Yes,
It predates the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah.
It does, yeah. I mean, it came out a year before. I actually was thinking about this. Like, I remember like listening to the radio in like my parents' car, and this was like advertised like really hardcore, like on radio, and like how it's
Really?
like, yeah, like super scary and
Really? I had no idea.
yeah.
Huh.
So yeah, I mean, this was worth a watch. I think I watched it on Prime, and then I got some beer this week. Actually, my wife bought me this beer, and it's new Juicy Devil Imperial Hazy
Nice.
IPA.
Wow.
That's
8%er.
awesome.
So yeah, I'm rocking this tonight.
Does he have a hop body?
He does, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That's a good beer. I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's made by Rusty Rail. They make a lot of horror themed beers, so
So then we fully endorse them.
yeah, cool stuff.
So that last broadcast, I found out about it after the Blair Witch because the Poughkeepsie tapes in that were like the two titles that were floating around the internet. It's like, oh, you got to see these other two movies. And so I tracked it down, later on and watched it. And I watched this like a year ago or something. I rewatched it. And Hunter's right. It came out before found footage had a thing. So it made up its own rules. And it has its definite charm to it. The big reveal is so clunky. But then right after that, like it's kind of cool what happens right after the big reveal. But I recall, like, isn't the narrator guy doesn't have like a really monotone voice? Or
Yeah,
something?
yeah, yeah. It was
Barely remember it.
People talk about this as like this is the beginning of found footage, but then you go back 10 years prior, the McPherson tapes, which is
Yeah.
UFO abduction movie.
I mean, you could go back to like Cannibal Holocaust. I mean, that's kind of
Yeah.
almost like found
Kinda.
footage.
McPherson tapes is definitely
War of the Worlds started it all.
Now, Bad Bed. Now that is high quality.
God
It's all
damn it,
in
though.
Jersey, man.
Yeah.
I should just
Yeah,
make a
it's going on in
found
Jersey.
footage
The
video.
found footage in Cannibal Holocaust is so effective still. Like you watch
Oh,
it,
yeah.
like, no one has matched this yet. It's crazy.
Right.
Then again, they're really killing shit.
Yeah, that's probably why.
All right, Hunter.
All right.
Little
Well-
Tom crap.
Tim watched Bug, the Ashley Judd movie, and I said, you know what? That reminds me of Bug from 1975 with Bradford Dillman. This is a movie that, as a kid, I loved. I saw it at the drive-in. I think my dad took us twice to see this movie. This is a movie. It's very 70s, by the way. But there's an earthquake, and they're living like New Mexico in the desert or something. And out of the fissure in the earth come these bugs that they look like cockroaches, and that they just glued these big like exoskeletons on top of them. And these things pretty much fart fire. It's like they click their little legs together and then fire comes out of their asses. and they're basically setting fire, like they're going in like tailpipes of cars and blowing up cars and burning people and stuff.
I don't think I ever saw this.
Yeah, Bradford Dillman is a scientist at a local university who becomes obsessed with finding out what these things are, and because they can't be, it's like they almost can't be killed, they can't be crushed. And then he starts doing weird experiments on them, and things get much, much worse. I mean, catastrophically worse. Go figure. This is a fun, this is perfect 70s nature gone wild kind of movie. I like the fact that it wasn't about toxic pollution or anything. It was just, these things have just been laying under the earth for millions of years, and now they're up and out and about. And the stuff that they do is pretty wild. I don't want to give it away, even though this movie is like 50 years old, but a lot of people haven't seen it. And there's a what the fuck moment in this movie where it takes it to a whole different level. So
The
worth
look on
the
this
watch
woman's
by
face
far.
here was when I finished watching Howling 4. That was the look on my face.
But yeah, check that out. And I was looking at the IMDb page. So Joanna Miles, she plays Bradford Dillman's wife. But there's a guy in there. His name is Alan Fudge. That's the actor's name.
Fudge.
Poor bastard.
I think this might be my new porn name.
What was your old porn name?
I don't want to give that one away. You might be able to find me.
Rusty
then
Buckets.
I feel like if I did the name Alan Fudge, I'd pigeonhole myself into a certain type of movie.
Pigeonhole could
Go
be your new name.
figure. Check out my pigeonhole.
Johnny Pigeonhole. Okay. So last week I did the rat marathon. So this week I went with cats.
To chase the rats out?
Chase the rats away.
Is next week going to be bats? Just
Maybe. Good idea.
Then mongooses.
Yeah, Ricky Tikki Tavi.
Ricky Tikki
That's
Tavi.
all I watched. So I noticed on Shudder that they have a special section devoted to Val Luton, who was a producer of many black and white horror movies. Like I think is it I Walked with a Zombie?
I
or-
Walked with a Zombie, which is on Shudder right now.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. So he did Cat People and Curse of the Cat People. And this is what I like about Shudder. I have never seen the original Cat People.
I haven't either.
So it's one of those ones that I had actually like put down on a list of like, I'm going to watch that this year. And then boom, it shows up on Shudder. So I was like, all right, I'm going to watch Cat People one night. So this is 1942. And Hunter, you know who's in this? The lead guy. He's talking and I'm like, I know this guy's voice. I don't think I have his name down.
Is it Marcus Mopper?
Damn it, somebody found out. Oh, well.
Kent Smith is the lead actor's name.
Kent Smith, all right.
You know, in the Night Stalker, the like the government guys, there's like the sheriff and the like the I don't know, the governor. The lead guy with the gray hair. Like, that he's
get
been in
outta
a bunch of stuff. Like it's young him. I'm like, oh my god.
That's funny.
Boom.
Got some pictures of him here. Look at this. Jason's quick.
On it.
So this American man marries a Serbian immigrant. I'm reading this from the synopsis. And the thing is that she's afraid that if she gets intimate, that she's going to turn into a leopard. And so it's essentially a werecat story done in 1942. So I'm kind of glad I did not see this when I was a kid because I wouldn't have liked this movie. It was way too slow for me. But seeing it now, I could appreciate the filmmaking that was going on in it. And what I learned was that Val Luton is actually kind of famous for being one of the people who brought the jump scare into existence. And there's a thing called the Luton bus in this movie that is like a thing in filmmaking, because there's this really cool scene where somebody's walking through like a park with like street lights, so it's going light to dark, and you can hear the footsteps, and she's being kind of chased by stalked by a panther, and then just like you sort of hear this panther growl, and then this bus just pulls up out of nowhere, and the bus noise like jumps into it, so it's kind of this jump scare. And apparently this is one of like the first like big jump scares, I guess, and it is like I said, like a notable thing. So
hey, somebody had to make it.
yeah. So listen, I'm not a film student or anything like that, so this movie didn't like go, oh, you must see Cat People. But I'm glad I saw it. Now I've seen it, and like I said, I appreciate it. It's funny going back and seeing like the way they made movies back then. And so I kept thinking to myself, my God, with this content of somebody getting aroused and turning into a friggin', puma or whatever.
A she-cat in the sheets? Yeah, that's what we all hope
so
for.
I was like, of course they would make a sexy remake of this in the 80s. So I watched this, and then the next night I said, I got to watch the 80s Cat People. So when we come around again, I will report on the Cat People remake.
I figured you would do that. Good for you. By the way, if you have Shudder, check out. There's a whole Val Lewton section.
Yeah,
I Walked with a Zombie is really good. There are some freaky scenes in that movie, like ahead of its time.
Yeah, there's one with the Boris Karloff too. I can't remember what it is.
Body Snatcher, I think.
The Body Snatcher. Yeah.
That's good. That's really good too.
Sometimes it's hard to go back and watch some of these old horror movies because some of them are not paced well at all. Some of them still really hold up. But sometimes you watch some, you're like, God damn.
Yeah. The beauty is though, they're like, an hour and 10 minutes. And you're like, all right.
Yep.
That's true.
I survived.
Yeah. What was did you guys see the statue I was like circling with the mouse? The guy holding a sword with a cat impaled on it?
Yeah, so that's in her apartment. And the guy walks in and is like, so what's up with the statue? And it's like, from her people, and the cat represented like evil or something like that, and there was devil worshippers and all this stuff. So basically, it's kind of like what Hunter Shea would have in the background of his
Wait
attic.
a second, not cats. I love cats. I'm a cat owner. I'm a cat person.
I would. Cats can suck it.
We have an important question here. After Jason, who's your favorite final guy? Thank you for that. Appreciate that. It's like the first time anyone's ever said that.
We all know it's me. So yeah, who's next?
Howling.
Oh, we lost you there for a second, Jack.
Got to eat a piece of candy.
All right.
It's like every time you touch your mic, it's like when you touch your peen, you lose your voice.
Okay.
What?
All right. I watched Howling 5. Written and produced by Clive Turner. Again, only this time he's acting in it. And it seems like he's playing the same character as Howling 7, but the name is different, and he dies in this. So there appears to be continuity from 4 to 5. And I don't know about 6 and 7 yet, but if the same dude is starring in 2 different movies as 2 different characters, but he looks the same and talks the same and is just throwing quips, it just perfectly sums up how shit this series is.
Oh, I think
it's got a Return of the Living Dead, though, right?
It's just decrying his acting skills. That's
look at this. There aren't even pictures of it on IMDb. They're all the covers. One image.
Well, there you go. People.
All right. I guess I could sum it up as all these people are tricked into going into a castle because they don't know why, and they start getting killed one by one and finding secret passages and shit. And it's just a murder mystery with a werewolf in it. But once again, this fuck Clive Turner makes werewolf movies without werewolves in them.
This fuck.
There's one shot about halfway through the movie, nothing else until the last 5 minutes again. And even the end, there's no werewolf. It's just a murder mystery. It is mind-boggling. Now, this movie is light years.
I would lose it if I'd watch this movie.
Dude, I watched them back to back too. I mean, I bought the rope during the last one, and I learned how to tie the noose during this one. But by the time Howling 7 comes, I'm ready. Let's see. I tried to take notes because I was like, I'm not going to remember anything about this. But my notes are there aren't any goddamn werewolves. Boring as hell. Murder mystery sucks ass. So there you go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, Hunter watched a murder mystery with a Bigfoot at least.
that's right.
Dude.
I think it was great.
So Hellraiser, there are still Cenobites in it. I mean, the stories are dumb. They make no sense. They get worse and worse. But shit is happening on the screen. And this, I'm just watching people wander around the castle and occasionally talk to each other.
Do you know he was in Howling 4 as tow truck driver, and then Ray and
I
Howling
did
5,
see him
Ted
for a split
Smith
second.
in 7.
The truck.
He's
Dude.
79 years old now. Should we get him on the show?
Please, I will fight this man.
We have to do it. We have to do the show at 4:00 that week.
Elder abuse.
This has been brutal. I mean, Amityville, shit's flying around. It doesn't make sense. That's fine. Something's happening. God damn it. If the next one doesn't have wolves in it, I am going to freaking blow my house up or something.
I need wolves.
You're gonna get so angry you're gonna destroy your own house.
I might just burn it down and live under an assumed name somewhere in the woods. Like I don't know what to do at this point.
That's a certain special type of anger.
This is killing me.
Destroy your own life.
Like Tubi TV should be ashamed for having this shit on there. like they made money off me watching those ads. That's bullshit. Seriously,
At least you didn't have to pay to watch it.
Yeah.
I would have been upset if I paid any
Imagine
money
if you were
for
like
this
buying these things from like some place in Estonia and paying for the shipping. I mean,
I did that with Howling 7. I got it from Germany. That was a mistake, but it was only like $4 to have it shipped. So,
oh my god,
yeah,
Amazing,
guys, this is brutal.
Well, 3 more to go.
Yeah, you're almost there, man.
I'll make it all you watch 7 with me. I don't give a shit.
I could do 1 and done. That's fine.
Yeah,
I'm in.
I'll watch it.
All right, Tim, what do you got?
My turn. Okay, so continuing with my Arrow subscription, I checked out a movie from 1990 called Mirror Mirror.
I watched that
remember
a
that.
year
You
ago or
watched
2
it?
years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So this is an interesting flick. So it's basically about a teenage girl who starts getting these magic powers through an old mirror that has a demon inside of it. I love me some mirror horror. I think like mirrors are such like a cool like
Nobody's ever said that sentence before.
I know, like it's
Take credit for
there
that.
needs to be more mirror horror. That's all
I
I'm
want to
saying.
write a mirror horror story because there aren't many of them.
There's not. I actually my second novel I wrote was as a mirror horror story.
That's right.
So
That's true. You did.
yeah. So I love them. I love the
I love
idea.
Mirror Sorvino.
That's a totally different thing.
But
Wow,
buddy.
dude.
That is not the movie I watched. I would watch that though.
Yeah. How the fuck did they pull this up?
Looks delightful.
What the hell? That ain't it.
Wait, you watched this with Julia Roberts?
Yes, that was a horror movie
Did you
for
forget
sure.
what the show's about?
For sure. So I mean, guys, this movie is it's early 90s. It looks like it was made for TV. It's got like 150-minute runtime. Yeah, it's strange, but this cast is actually really good. So Karen Black actually plays the mom. And
that's right.
she's phenomenal.
awesome.
You know, she's awesome in everything.
Oh, that guy.
This dude.
Yeah.
Who's Stephen Tobolewsky, who's in 2 of my favorite movies of all time, Groundhog Day and Memento. So I was super surprised that he had like a bit part, and his like death scene in it is fucking awesome.
Spoiler.
I don't care. No one's watching this movie. Are you fucking kidding me? Also stars Rainbow Harvest, the mysterious Rainbow Harvest. I don't know if you guys know her story at all.
Oh,
No.
So the cool thing about Arrow is they also have like these little 10-minute documentaries on the movies after they play, which you can't get anywhere else. Even if the movie's like on Tubi or anything, you can only get these little documentaries. So I watched a 10-minute documentary on Rainbow Harvest after. She's only been in like a handful of things, maybe like 5 or 6 like major things in like the late 80s and early 90s. And then she like disappeared. Like she literally disappeared. Nobody knows her whereabouts or like where she is. Like she
Like
just
the
kind of
last
like
broadcast.
she just kind of like faded into obscurity. It was rumored that she married maybe it wasn't rumored, maybe it's confirmed that she actually married somebody from 21 Jump Street, like one of like the smaller actors, like recurring actors on that show.
Really? Jack would know that.
I'm not up on my 21 Jump Street.
But yeah, so like she just kind of like disappeared, and like she was really good at it. Like she made that movie like pop. So
is she the one with the black hair?
Yeah, she's the one with the black hair. Good. Yeah, she was really good in it. And I don't know, this movie's super interesting. It's super low budget. It doesn't look good. Like I said, it looks like it was literally made for TV in 1990. But yeah, I actually did enjoy it though. A little bit underwhelming on the whole demon aspect, but the ending kind of makes up for it. So, and it has some cool kill scenes. I don't know if you have Arrow, or I think it's on Prime as well.
It's a cool movie. I've seen it.
Yeah, I saw it on Prime. Yeah,
you can definitely check it out. I think it's worth it if you're in for some like early 90s nostalgia.
It has that very 90s palette.
So 90s, dude. It's so it's like it's like it was in night. It was, you know, it was a 1990 film, but it was probably shot in like what 89 probably. So it's like it's that weird like mix of like late 80s and early 90s like combined. I don't know. It's cool.
It also has Yvonne DiCarlo in it.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And another actor in there whom I really like. What the hell's his name? I forget. But he was in like I think William Sanderson. Yeah. Yeah, William Sanderson. Yeah. He was in he had a big role on Deadwood, and he also played the sheriff in True Blood. Okay. So yeah, he was in it as well. He had a pretty cool part. Yeah, I don't know. Cool movie. Definitely worth a watch.
I was surprised by it. It's not going to be for everybody, because if you don't like that 90s look, it's probably going to annoy the shit out of you. But I thought it was surprisingly good for a made-for-TV movie with no money.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun.
I also want to point out that Rainbow Harvest is in Jack's favorite movie of all time, Old Enough. That was her first thing. So I think, Jack, you own that, right?
Sure.
Oh, he likes to. Oh no, you like the one that's old enough with the question mark at the end.
I like Rainbow Bright. I like Rainbow Bright and the Purple Pie Man.
Yeah, she only has like 10 credits to her name. I mean,
yeah, there is not much there, and that was her real name, which is kind of awesome.
Yeah, that name is awesome. I love that name.
I've never heard of this person. I want to look her up.
Well, that's what's so cool about it, and it was really fun to watch like a 10-minute documentary on somebody I have no idea who the hell they are. Just like I find that stuff interesting. Like when people. Like she had a cool career going. It sounded like, I mean, you know, she had some pretty big credits and she was kind of getting the ball running, but then to just like disappear like that is just kind of interesting.
Yeah. That's what's going to happen to me after Howling 6.
But we'll know. We'll know
why,
we'll know. Where. We'll know the whole thing.
Yes.
All right, Hunter, what do you got?
All right. I watched something new. So we're waxing poetic about old crap. Here's new crap. No, not crap. On Shudder, I think I asked if we would do this as a main feature one day, but I'm on the fence now that I've seen it. Slacks. With double X, Slacks. This movie is just absurd fun. For the crap that we put ourselves through, this is the cream. So it's really not a bad movie. I'll tell you this.
Cream?
It's the cream of the crap. No. This is Look, it's a movie about a killer pair of jeans. I can't put it to you any other way. This is the most succinct way to say it. Killer jeans in this like high-end store that sells expensive jeans and other clothes and shit like that. And like real douchebaggy people who work there, and like, there's going to be a camera crew the next day unveiling these new jeans. The gore in this is crazy. I mean, like when the jeans bite into you, it's like you have 400 arteries and a limitless supply of blood in your body. So watching these jeans just tear the shit out of everybody. It was so much fun, especially because so many of these people were like, "Oh, I've seen these people in department stores. I want to see this happen to you." There's cool dance scene because these jeans naturally are made by child labor, and I believe India.
Of course.
And yeah, so there's an Indian woman who works in the store, and unbeknownst to her, she's listening to Indian music while she's setting up a display or whatever. And you see the jeans behind her dancing to the music. So
nice.
the jeans are really into Bollywood music. I'm telling you, this like it was completely bonkers, but completely fun.
Yeah.
I had a good time with this movie.
Yeah, the movie is bonkers, but you're right. It is just like a fun gore fest. Just it's the perfect Shudder movie.
It's a perfect Shudder movie, and despite like all that craziness, there's this really heavy story about mass consumerism and people's addiction to having the latest greatest thing. And the ending ain't so happy. So
does it have Danny DeVito trying to put on skinny jeans?
that would be awesome. That's the only thing that would make the movie better. But he wanted to do it, but he was stuck in a coil, so he couldn't get out. But yeah, on Shudder, check. Slacks is actually good fun.
Huh. That shocks me.
It shocked me too. There were 3 of us watching it, and we laughed through the entire thing.
All right.
I'm definitely watching that.
Yeah, he's good.
All right. So it was the night after I watched Cat People, the original one. I said, all right, I saw the 1982 Cat People with Natasha Kinski and
Pants
Malcolm
off.
McDowell once, probably in 1983 or 84. I don't know. And I don't remember caring much about this movie because I wanted more of like The Howling with werecats, and it's not that. It's more like a erotic thriller with a little bit of werecat stuff going on.
Very erotic.
However, again, watching these back to back was a good way to do it because I think if I just randomly watched Cat People one day, I wouldn't have paid as much attention to it or appreciated what was going on, because like there's a couple of like specific shout outs to the original, including a kind of a famous pool scene from the beginning one that they do in this. But the whole time I was watching the first one, I've got my 2021 viewpoint of this, and I'm going, my God, how could a filmmaker not see the original Cat People and be like, oh my God, we got to make like a horror movie out of this that's way more sexual because it's about the sexual repression. So I'm watching this and going, oh yeah, this is naturally, first of all, Natasha Kinski, perfect person to cast in this.
Yeah.
And Malcolm McDowell, who had no boundaries.
Fresh off Caligula.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
What's it? William Hurd, the father from Home Alone, is in this. Ed Begley Jr. and I forget her name. She was Lana Lang, from
Annette
O'Toole.
Yeah, Annette O'Toole.
And this was written by Alan Ormsby, who is the star of Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things.
When I saw that name pop up, I thought of you, Ormsby Island.
I have his autograph downstairs.
So this, again, it's not the greatest movie in the world, but when I saw this, I wanted, like I said, I wanted The Howling with werecats, and it's not that. So watching it now, I appreciated it more, and I was just getting a kick out of the whole 80s aesthetic to it. Like you were talking about how that movie you watched was so 90s. This is so 80s. You've got the soundtrack, you've got kind of the
good music, by the way.
Yeah, David Bowie.
Yep.
So this is one of those little niches of horror that if you haven't seen these movies, they're worth checking out at least once, so you can say you saw it. And Natasha Kinski doesn't disappoint. If nothing else, you'll get your money's worth with her performance.
Is there as much nudity as my mind has dreamt up?
There's a pretty good amount of nudity. Her and Annette O'Toole are featured.
Featured.
But Natasha Kinski she definitely she puts in her time with no clothes on. It's not as sexual. There's more nakedness than there is sex.
Gotcha.
The description on IMDb is hilarious. A young woman's sexual awakenings bring horror when she discovers her urges transform her into a monstrous black leopard.
Yes. So the big thing about this movie is that Malcolm McDowell plays her brother. And the whole thing is that if they have sex with somebody, the only way they become a leopard. And then the only way to return to being human is to kill somebody. The only way around this is to have sex with your sibling. So Malcolm McDowell, who's been separated from her since they were kids, is trying to get her to have sex with him the whole time. And she is just like, what the hell are you talking about? So there's this whole incest thing going on. I should have watched that Stephen King Sleepwalkers movie and did a cat trifecta.
Yeah.
Maybe I will watch that soon. But when you watch it, Chad Bletsky, good. I would give Natasha how many pickles? I would give her 100 pickles.
100 pickles.
That's a lot of pickles.
Or I would just give her the little pickle.
That is several
like baby Gherkin
boxes of pickles.
I mean, Pam Anderson's like 100 pickles, right? Natasha Kinski. All right.
Hey man, it's
We've
a
learned
horror.
something new.
It's a sexy horror movie. Definitely pickle worthy.
Yeah. Is that a pickle
Quarantine's
in your pants?
been rough for you, huh? 100 pickles.
Hey, you know what's great about this one? What was it? The Devil Rides Out, or whatever that movie I watched where we find out she was underage in it. Like Jesus Christ!
Jesus
At
Christ.
least for this one, it's legit.
Even he doesn't approve. No pickles for that movie.
Yeah. All right, let's go. Howling.
Oh God, what else did I watch? I literally can't remember.
The Howling,
Mine
the
is
Howling
blown.
movies were so bad that you're now starting to black out.
It broke me. Okay, there were two more, but I'll just combine them because one I'm going to talk about for 10 seconds. I watched the McPherson tapes. It's hilarious that you mentioned that.
Get out of here. I
was
didn't
on,
even see that on the spreadsheet.
It was on HBO Max. I forgot to add it because it's short and it's boring. But while I was watching, I kept thinking, I have seen this movie. I have seen this. But he remade it like 10 years later, something called Alien Abduction or something like that. It was one of those they aired on TV but didn't tell people it was fake, and everybody shit their pants. So the story it's so similar, and the way everything plays out is so similar that's why I was thinking I had seen it. But there's a good reason he remade that instead of just airing this on TV. People are talking so far from the goddamn camera, you can't hear shit, you can't see stuff. I mean, it's just not well put together. The remake is much better. So I would only recommend watching this if you're a weird completist like I am about stuff like that. So it's on HBO Max. And then the other one I watched New Mutants.
God.
I've been putting off forever, and I should have kept putting it off. That was a mistake.
I've heard not good things.
That movie's so bad.
Is this Rector's cut of New Mutants?
And it wastes. New Mutants wastes. It's got Macy Williams and the girl from Queen's Gambit.
And the witch.
Joy.
Yeah. I mean, those two should be in such oh god, that movie was just so bad.
I heard a thing where they wanted to do some reshoots, but everyone had aged so much from when they shot it originally. They're like, it's not going to work.
Yeah, it sat on the shelf for a long time, and you can see why. I mean,
I think they put that out because when Disney bought Fox, there was a condition that they had to put that out in theaters.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
'Cause this would have been a good one to just kind of dump onto Disney Plus and just forget about.
Yeah.
There's a good idea in here, like a horror movie where mutants are getting their powers and they're stuck in this kind of prison, hospital, school thing. Like there's a good idea in there, but just nothing about it really works. The characters, their interactions, some of the acting is bad. The effects are not convincing. It's just the whole thing's kind of a miss. It's not like the worst movie I've ever seen, but I can see why Fox didn't know what the hell to do with it. Because you watch and you're like, hey, just nothing quite gels.
Yeah, that's a no.
So Yeah, it was a good week of movie watching for me. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, really. Jesus Christ.
So anyway,
Oh,
I'm done.
man. What do you got, Timmy?
I have a book that one of our co-hosts let me borrow. It is The Return by
Hey!
Rachel Harrison.
And you don't need to return it.
I'm not
Well,
going to.
It's all yours.
I was going to say I'd pass it off to somebody else who wants to read it. And
Did you wear gloves while you read it?
And
Someone who wants to touch my number 2 pages.
Unlike one of our co-hosts, I did not shit while I read this book. So,
That book's been flagged.
Chad
it's
Lutzke's
clean.
new book. I mean,
This is
that
a-
was like one good Burger King shit, and I was done.
The Whopper.
Jeez. Okay. So anyway, I'm just going to touch on this briefly because you already reviewed it earlier, but this is a really solid book. It's about a girl who goes missing for 2 years and then she returns, and her friends take her to like this like reclusive resort in the middle of the woods and mountains, and some crazy shit goes down, and it's really good, very suspenseful, and I love the characters, and it's good.
Yeah.
I recommend it. It's
I thought the
nominated for
end was-
Bram Stoker, so definitely check it out.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's her first novel, so she's nominated for best first novel.
Right. I thought the ending got so weird and so good.
I love the ending. Yeah, it got really weird, and I like the explanation. I like how like it just built, and then like you just didn't see that whole thing coming. Like it was just
Right. It was really good.
Yeah,
And
it was
as
fun.
I'm reading, I'm going, this book is so not written for me. Like I'm going, this is just like women talking.
Yeah, 4 girls talking, having a good time. But I liked it. I really enjoyed it. I thought the dialogue
too.
was snappy. I thought the characters were cool, and yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Do you like that more than mirror horror?
Nothing beats mirror horror.
Especially when we're standing in front of it.
That's my mirror horror in the morning.
Ugh. All right. So I read a book too. I you know how I'm into UFOs, so
really?
yeah. So Tom DeLonge from Blink 182, he's got this To the Stars Academy, and they're the ones that have gotten a lot of this footage out and everything. Whatever. So here's a book supposedly that he wrote, paired up with a best-selling author, and who I suspect, I'm not gonna suspect, I pretty much know he did 98% of the writing in this thing. It's a
What?
The name of the book is called Chasing my dentures are not fitting tonight. Chasing fuck this. Chasing shadows.
Changing sheets.
Chafing shadows.
Chafing shadows.
Yeah, Chafing Shadows. I'm just gonna say that by AJ Hartley and Tom DeLonge. So here's the concept. This is part of a series. It's 700 pages long, which was way more than I really wanted to invest in a book about UFOs. But supposedly Tom DeLonge knows a lot of the secrets. And when he was told to him, he was like, I didn't sleep for 3 days. So what he's decided to do is tell this story, this fictionalized story, and throw in facts from like the 40s to now. And the book is going all over the world, different times within this time frame. Here's the thing. I wanted to shit on this book in the worst way. But as an action novel, it's really well written and it's gripping. And it was really cool. And there was stuff in there I was like, oh yeah, I know that. But like it's kind of like, I guess the first book is like your starter UFO book. Like they talk about Barney Hill and stuff like that. And I think it's going to get weirder as it goes on. I don't know how far I'm going to keep going into this. This might be a one and done. My thing is this. If you've created an academy that's about to blow the lid off of everything, why bake it into some fucking fictionalized series of novels? Just tell us what it is. Because guess what? You had a rough 3 nights. Now you're back on the road with Blink 182. You seem to be doing just fine. And I think we would too. So just tell us and stop being a jerk.
This dude might be full of shit. It's kind of hard to tell.
He might be. He might be a false flag.
His disastrous appearance on Joe Rogan was just like, oh my God.
He was on Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to have to check that.
It's the same thing as the book. Oh my God, I know all this stuff. Okay, what is it? Well, I I can't tell you right now. It's like Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that
me
was
a
the
break.
frustrating part about the book itself, but the writing sucked me right in. So it was actually a fun book.
Well, good for the writer.
Hey,
It was like
check out
$1.99 on Kindle.
check out Chad's comment in the chat about here it is.
This is Lutsky's creature.
That's maybe the douchiest thing said on this podcast.
You know what? I'm glad I said it because you know what? I can take the abuse. I'll be reviewing Chad's book next week, by the way. I don't want to give it away. After I disinfect it, I'll review it.
All right. I took a detour from the cat stuff and I said I need to watch something good.
Just 2 cat movies out.
I thought you were going to follow it up with Catwoman, the Halle Berry.
Yeah, the Halle Berry Catwoman.
That's a horror movie.
I abandoned the cats and I went and I watched You're Next.
Oh,
Can't lose with that movie ever.
I haven't seen it in quite a while. 2011. I'm just gonna say this because if you haven't seen this movie, I have not seen this movie many times, but this is one of my favorite horror movies ever.
Wow.
I love this movie.
I'm right up there with you.
And I don't think about it though. Then like when I watch it, I'm like, oh yeah, I love this movie. Like it's so good. Adam Wingard directed it. This is the movie that brought back Barbara Crampton.
Mm-hmm.
Larry Fessenden is in it.
AJ Bowen.
AJ Bowen.
Yeah, there's somebody else has a really small part. I can't remember who it is.
Oh,
Ty West.
Ty West, that's it. What's her name? Charney Vincent?
Sharni Vincent, my favorite final girl of all time.
Why isn't she in more stuff? She's so great in this movie.
I don't know.
So this is a home invasion movie. The family goes up to their, vacation home out in the woods in the middle of nowhere, and then they are attacked by a group of animal masked faced killers with crossbows and booby traps.
Boobies.
And it's got great action, great horror, a sense of humor, and it's paced perfectly. It's the right length. I don't know what Hunter. I know you love this movie. We met Barbara Crampton. And you bought The Mask.
I bought The Mask from one of the killers. Yeah,
yeah. And again, like this is only like the third time I've watched this movie.
Oh wow!
But I love it. Like so. I don't know what you guys think of this movie, but
it's one of my favorite. Like Jack, we have to do that list of our top 30 movies.
Yeah, it's going to be in mine.
It'll be on mine. I love that song that's played. Yeah, there's nothing I don't. Here's the funny thing. When my dad had passed away, my mother now was living alone in this big house by herself, and the first movie I ever take her to is You're Next, about a home invasion.
Oh God.
I didn't know what it was about. So let's just go see that.
So there's the scene where Barbara Crampton's in the bed and the other two and what they're saying. You know what I'm talking about? With you're sitting next to your mother while that's being said.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. We've had a lot of good moments together.
I haven't seen that since probably 2011. I need to revisit it, but I love that movie.
It's so great. How about you, Tim? You probably hate it, Tim.
No, I actually love it a lot. I think I've only seen it once, though. Probably not long after it came out. So
I think I watch it twice a year.
I think I have to go back and revisit it because I do have fond memories of that movie, and I remember it being cool. I remember the twist being like really like. So
yeah, I don't remember it being one of my favorites ever. So I need to check it out again.
Yeah,
I've always liked it, but when I watched it this time, I was just like.
If it had Steven Seagal, Jason would be into it.
What is it on?
Probably own it on Blu-ray.
Because I'll probably watch it tomorrow.
I think I watch it on Prime.
All right, I'm gonna probably watch it tomorrow then.
Good for you.
Yeah, I feel like Ready or Not might be my You're Next. Like for you guys, I've watched that movie like 4 times now.
I love that movie.
Love that movie. Yeah, that might be on the list.
However, You're Next is probably a better movie.
I need to revisit it. It's been 10 years, literally.
It's different. Like
different.
Ready or Not is a comedy. Your Next is not funny at all.
Yeah, they're great companion ones because they're kind of the similar premises, and one goes more comedic and more kind of supernatural. But they both have humor, but one is like humor is secondary, and the other one humor kind of leads. So they're both great. And I would say, listen, Ready or Not's high up there in my movies, but like Your Next, Hunter, yeah, I was thinking about that list we're gonna make, and I was like, yeah, that's going on.
Oh, that's definitely on my list. That and just every Sasquatch movie. That'll be my 30. You're Next in 29 Sasquatch movies.
All right, well, let's see if Mortal Kombat's going to make that list. So
let's see.
Let's see.
Guess by my name there tonight.
It's time for the main feature.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
All right, so Tim left. Hunter's has become a Westworld android being.
Finish me.
Now
it did.
Oh.
So Mortal Kombat, as you can see from my screen name, Atari 2600. I am not the most video game savvy person on this podcast, so let's go to Jason because I feel like you're the gamer guy out of this. First, tell us what this movie's about, and then let us know what your initial 30-second thoughts are about this.
Well, I can describe this movie very easily. People from Earth are fighting in a tournament called Mortal Kombat to save it from being invaded by Outworld or something, another dimension or another realm, I think they call it. And, they smash the figures together and, whoever wins rules the universe or some shit. The story is very dumb. the script,
really?
The script of this...
Except it's really the kind of the prequel to that.
Yeah, that's a whole thing we'll have to get into.
Yeah.
I had fun with this movie. It wasn't great. The writing was actually like shockingly bad. But the intro, the first 10 minutes, I thought were awesome. And I liked the fight scenes for the most part. They weren't always great. I liked the gore. I had fun with it.
Did you grow up playing Mortal Kombat? It was like a thing.
The first one, yeah, but it's not something I've played since I was, in freaking high school, probably.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe the second one I played, but that would be it.
Okay. Tim, what's your relationship to Mortal Kombat, and what did you think of the movie? Initial thoughts?
Fucking love Mortal Kombat. Okay, grew up playing the games in the arcades, owned them all on Super Nintendo. I used to play it like constantly. Loved the original movie as a kid, obviously. Mortal Kombat Annihilation, the sequel to the original movie, is god-awful trash, and I don't recommend it to anybody. But the first one is still fun, and it holds up, and I watch it occasionally. So I love Mortal Kombat. So going into this, I'm like, all right, so this is going to be awesome. After watching the trailer, like I was super hyped. 10 minutes into this movie, I think we texted each other. We're like, this is like looks really good, like mind-blowingly good. The first 10 minutes of that movie.
Yeah, that's when I texted you guys. I was like, holy shit,
dude. I was like, I was kind of scared because I'm like, this looks like way too good to be a Mortal Kombat movie. Like this, like it was so good. It was almost like art house, like the gore and like the violence like looked good. Like, and then like it kind of didn't hold up the rest of the way. Bad writing in some spots. Like some of the dialogue was really terrible, which you would expect from like a Mortal Kombat movie. Like they have to pay homage to a lot of those like stupid things that are in the video games, like fatality and like flawless victory, like stupid like one-liners that you wouldn't really ever put in a movie.
Oh, I say that I say flawless victory every time I take a shit.
I know you do, but that's
before I
different.
flush. Flawless victory.
And then he closes the Blutsky book.
But so that said, look, I mean, there's also like 30 characters in this movie, right? They can't all be fleshed out. So like we know that. We know that, that has to be a part of it. So like you can't really do the characters like justice like you would like a normal movie. So I kind of give it a pass for that, like for character development. That said, like Jason said, I still had fun with it. Like I felt like I was a kid again, just watching like a super gory, like fighting movie based off a fucking video game that has no right to be a movie. So like I for me it was like a win-win, and I didn't have to pay for it, anything extra for it, because I watched it on HBO Max. So I was happy. I really wish the beginning 10 minutes was like the whole movie, because like we need an art house Mortal Kombat movie. Like that would be
like a Mumblecore.
Can you
Mortal
imagine like Mortal Kombat directed by like Ari Aster or like Robert Eggers? Like that would be
Quentin
so
Tarantino
amazing.
should make it.
Yeah,
Dude,
I
would
do that more.
I was so surprised that like the first 10 minutes and like the rest of the movie feel like two completely different movies. It was almost like they shot the first 10 minutes to like get the movie to be made. Like they were like took it to the studio and was like, look, we could do this, and then they made something else completely. But I did like a lot of the fight scenes, especially at the end, which I'm sure we'll get into when we talk about spoilers and stuff. So but that's what I thought.
Okay.
All right. Well,
now let's let the old guys go. Hunter.
In the words of Woody Harrelson in Zombieland, when it was time to watch this movie, I said it's time to nut up or shut up. So I'm the only one with the stones who went to a fucking movie theater to watch this sucker. That's right, a movie theater. And I wasn't the only person in there, which I was shocked on a fucking Monday.
Did pretty well, gonna be honest with you, in the box office.
I mean, we had like 15 people in there, including some asshat who had to sit right behind me, so I had to move my seat.
He's just coughing on your neck.
It's like, what? I'm like, why are you here? You have to go to the computer and pick your seat. You saw that I was already in here, jerk,
schmuck.
Whoever you are, I hope you choke to death on your popcorn, you fuck. So,
fatality,
flawless choking. I love the first 10 minutes because I grew up liking kung fu movies. I've seen that in 734 other kung fu movies. So that was cool. That was my kind of throwback. I played the game in the arcade, and I played it when it was on fucking, what was it on? Nintendo, PlayStation? I don't know.
Genesis was the one with all the gore in it.
Yeah.
I always play it on whoever had it in their house. I'd use them. So, but I don't have a great nostalgia or love for it. But I said, oh, cool. It's a kung fu movie. I can deal with that. This movie, look, I understand. Mindless. Everyone needs a little mindless getaway, especially this year and after last year. That's fine. If this is your thing, that's your thing. This movie is a stinking piece of shit. Like the money spent to make this fucking movie could probably get 5,000 people out of fucking poverty who haven't had a job since COVID came along. Just put the money there. Do better things. We can be better as a society. This is not the way we should go. And every coming attraction I saw was one dumber movie after another. Like, oh, another Fast and Furious. Yeah, we fucking need that. Like everything looks so dumb. And I'm sitting there going, this movie and the 19 coming attractions I saw before are an example of what's to come in cinema. Well, then maybe it should just die. Maybe the theater should die, because nobody's going to watch this shit in their home. Like, this is the kind of thing you go to a movie theater for, big screen, loud and everything. So maybe movie theaters should go out of business, and maybe this will stop. And they'll rely on people to write a movie that put some love and care and somebody to act in it, and not have to pay $100 million, $200 million for effects that, who gives a shit? I could see just as good effects in the game. So there we go. And it made no sense. And the main character was the most milquetoast nothing that
he was awful.
Hold a movie together ever.
Was awful.
But Kano, the guy who played Kano, was great.
Oh, he was phenomenal in it.
I will say that whenever he was on screen, awesome.
I mean, buff Randy Quaid.
It felt like a different writer wrote Kano's dialogue, because his dialogue was hilarious.
I feel like he improv that entire thing.
It was so jarring.
Like,
I'm like, this sounds like nothing else in this movie.
Yeah, he was hilarious.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah. Okay, so I played Mortal Kombat a couple of times in the arcade when it first came out. Slapped the buttons, didn't know what I was doing.
Button masher.
And never played it again, was familiar with it. So I'm not a game player. I saw the original one in the theater when it came out. Didn't like it. Never seen it since then. So I have no affection for this thing. I don't have any history with it. And if we had said that this was going to be the main feature, and it wasn't on HBO Max, I would have not gone and either skipped this episode or just listened to spoilers. Because unlike you nutting up and shutting up, I would have told you to nut up and shut up. I'm not going to the theater paying money for this.
What you all said was, oh, this will get us a lot of clicks. This is a hot movie. Nobody's going to fucking watch this episode.
Well,
guaranteed. It's the worst one we're going to do all month.
I hope this is the highest viewed.
Let me retort that, schmucko, because I gave you the choice of other movies and you didn't fight for anything. So suck it. I'm glad you went and saw it.
They all look like shit.
I wish that guy coughed on you.
I like how the two guys.
If I have COVID, I'm going to lick your face.
Are fighting each other right now. That's awesome.
Lick my face after tomorrow. I get my second shot.
Old man combat!
Get over here, you son of a bitch!
I'll hit you with my rocker.
Early bedtime. So I watched this movie and I'm like, all right, this is like rated R Power Rangers.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think you guys are overrating how good the beginning was. It's a bit better than the rest of the movie, and it's interesting, but I don't think it's, like Seven Samurai. Oh, did you see the aspect ratio on this?
I thought it was beautiful.
What was the aspect ratio? I don't know.
So yeah, I mean, I talked to some people that I know who watch it, who are people who played the game, and they're all like, yeah, it was pretty good. I liked it. It wasn't perfect, whatever. There was some dumb stuff, but they liked it. So I'm like, okay, great. You're the target audience for this. I'm glad you enjoyed it, because for me, there's other stuff, I guess, out there that I'd be like, yeah, I know this is dumb, but I love this thing. So if that floats your boat, that's great. But for me, having to sit down and watch it, I didn't enjoy it. There was parts of it that were okay. I like action and stuff. And like Hunter, I watched 1,000 kung fu movies, so I was kind of hoping it was going to go more in that. But it was just like people would get introduced, they'd fight, and then suddenly they'd have some other power for no reason.
Oh yeah, all that was handled horribly.
Yeah,
I'm not arguing this is a good movie. Arguing this was an entertaining movie.
You can't defend that.
Yeah, I gave up trying to figure out what anything meant.
It didn't matter.
Fight who?
Yeah,
it was the same as Kong vs. Godzilla. It's like this story is so bad, but you're just waiting to see the meat hit each other.
Yeah,
but I thought their fights were way better than these fights. I was actually starting to zone out.
Well, there was so many fights
zoning out here.
So many fights and so many quick cuts. Whereas Kong and Godzilla, it was like watching WWE.
Yeah, it was kind of like watching WWE.
Yeah, the cuts. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if this is your kind of movie, you're also the kind of person who's thinking about starting a Jason Statham fan fiction blog. I would think this is kind of like I
like the transporter. Shut your mouth.
See, there we go. Nailed it.
Crank's amazing.
Crank's a good movie, actually.
Actually, Crank is not bad.
The fight scenes, the cutting, that shit always annoys me, particularly when you have a martial arts movie. Like, let's hold the cuts back a little bit and actually see the moves. But every time I start to get a little annoyed by that, they would do a crazy fatality where somebody gets cut in half or something, and I'm like,
right,
okay, I'm back into it.
Well, they do the cuts because nobody knows how to do the moves.
That's true.
Probably.
I mean, these aren't kung fu masters. These are like Hollywood dipshits.
I felt like the fights had no weight to them until the end, because somebody always got horribly murdered at the end. But like somebody had a boulder dropped on them and they were fine. Like no one took any damage during the fights. It was at the end that like they took all the damage.
Yeah, how did that girl who was mortal have a boulder drop on her and she was fine? I didn't get that.
Yeah, she didn't even have an abrasion. Like she was good.
Yeah,
it happens.
But had more kills, I think, than the main guy.
The main guy's not from the game, though, right? He's like a new character.
Yeah, they made him up completely.
It makes no sense.
I wasn't a fan of that either. But from what I read, they were trying to, I guess, like introduce a character that knew nothing about Mortal Kombat as like the audience, like a new audience, like you guys. would not know anything about Mortal Kombat, so they were trying to, I guess, like do that. I thought they could have done it a better way, but
That's a
if you have
dumbass
a
idea.
game with
Everybody knows
100
what Mortal
characters, why add a new one?
yeah.
And if you're watching the movie Mortal Kombat, you know what the hell Mortal Kombat is, even if you didn't play it.
Yeah.
You've heard of Mortal Kombat. I mean, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah.
Also, the Marvel universe is doing a great job of taking obscure characters that nobody's heard of, like Rocket Raccoon,
Yeah.
and making them become a household name.
Right.
So you could have done that with a Mortal Kombat character and just.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it definitely could have been handled differently. I mean, like, I don't know. It's I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I can't. I'm trying to defend it because I actually genuinely like had a good time with this, but I can also recognize that it's not like a good movie.
But were there moments like, again, I'm going to go back to a Marvel film when the Avengers movie came out. There was a lot of moments in some of those movies like, oh my God, I've been waiting all my life to see that. And one of them was when Hulk and Thor first fight each other in a carrier, and like. I turned to my nephew and I literally was like, oh my God, I've been waiting my whole life for this moment. Like, it was so great. So was there anything in there that you were like, as a Mortal Kombat fan, that was like, yes, they did that? I I'm glad they didn't gloss over that.
I like the Kung Lao fatality where they run the vampire chick through the hat. Like that was I love that fatality. Cool. That was cool. Yeah, that was such a cool
is that in one of the games?
Yeah. His hat is like a pretty cool move that he does. But I mean the acting for the most part was pretty good with what they had to work with. I thought all the actors did a decent job. The chick who plays Melina, she was great, I thought.
Which one was that? Which
the chick with the like she's not like
the burned cheeks or whatever.
With the burn face?
Yeah, and then she like her shit opens up and
the
like
Barbara Crampton face?
Yeah, kind of like
she looked like she was eating poo before she got on screen.
Well,
that was just the script.
Whatever.
She's eating the script.
She's running lines with Mr. Hanky.
But I thought she did a good job. I thought I don't know, I thought the actress did a good job.
It cracked me up. The main the boss of the bad guys is the dude that was in The Dark Knight. He's the I'm very good with calculations.
Oh yeah.
Like, so watching him like in the robe doing the whole like sorcerer thing was hilarious because I've just seen him as like businessmen type roles before. So.
Right.
Good.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, I thought he could have been like fleshed out. One of my favorite things from the original is like how badass they made that character in the first like original movie. Shang Tsung, yeah. And in this he was kind of just like I think you said it, like it felt like WWE, and it like there now that you mentioned that, like there was times like in the middle of the movie where it was just like they would cut a promo and then they would start fighting. like that's kind of exactly what it felt like, where they just kind of like they kept trying to like infiltrate their like dojo, essentially, like their training facility. Like I wish they had cut. I honestly like I wish they had cut that whole thing out and just done like a legit tournament.
Yep, 100%.
Like
I don't know why they didn't.
I don't know why they deviated from that like very simple premise. Like that.
Well, it's easy why they didn't, because they're trying to build a universe like everybody does now. So the knock on the DC universe was they just rushed. They started with Justice League, and then they should have like had patience and built it up like Marvel did. So now this movie was like, well, let's not start with the tournament. Let's, instead of having to do a prequel like Jason would get so upset about, let's actually start with the prequel. But clearly when you have a movie that's about a tournament and then there's no tournament, it's like The Howling without a werewolf.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a movie that like felt very let's just take 10,000 ideas and kind of throw them together, and instead of, like you said, just kind of building it up a little bit slowly.
Yep. The writing was, there was a point where Sub-Zero is talking to Shang Tsung on like a pathway or whatever when the vampire chick shows up, and Shang Tsung calls him by whatever the hell his real name is. He's like, "That's not my name anymore. I'm Sub-Zero." Yeah. I'm like,
"That's not my name."
He knows who you fucking are. What are you telling him your name for? Like,
so that way Jack and I knew.
Just
stuff like that was like,
But then every time Sub-Zero fought, it was cool. Like when he froze the bullet coming out of the
Oh
gun.
yeah.
When he froze the guy's blood and made it into a dagger and stabbed him with it. Like all that shit was cool.
Are we gonna get to spoilers? We can get to spoilers now, right?
Yeah. Does anybody give
Oh,
shit?
we're spoiling.
So like the fight at the end I thought was fucking awesome with Scorpion Sub-Zero. Like I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
It's still not as cool as the first scene because
When the guy said, "I came back from hell to kill you" or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like that a lot. I like the whole setup of the movie. Like through all the bullshit and terrible dialogue and rushed and just structurally it's all over the place, right? There's like no structure really to this movie.
No.
But like the premise is actually not terrible. Like the whole idea with the lineage of the scorpion. I like that idea. Like I like that whole plot, but it's just like you guys said, it just wasn't executed very well, and it's just very sloppy.
The lineage of the scorpion. I have no idea what you're talking about.
like the scorpion guy in the beginning. All right, so the main character was like related to him through his bloodline, which is why he has these special abilities. You didn't catch that? You didn't catch any of that part?
Well, I've seen it a billion times, so I don't know. I didn't realize that was like something to be admired. I was like, oh yeah, okay.
Look,
I like. Oh my god,
this is a modern take on the Ed Wood of like making a movie. It's just one guy said, "Look, I got the poster. Just make the fucking poster." Except this guy got a shit ton of money to go make, the poster, which was a picture of somebody playing a video game.
Listen, not the best movie. I enjoyed it, and as soon as it was done, I fired up my Super Nintendo and I played all 3 games.
That's great. I'm glad to hear that.
By the way, why are we reviewing this movie? It is not horror, other than the waste of money.
It has elements of horror. I mean, there's a fucking vampire in it. You would have at least Jack would have popped a boner for that or something.
She looked kind of skeevy though.
Well, the quick answer to that is, Hunter, we review whatever we want on this show.
I don't know. I think there should be rules. I think this will be the episode that's going to institute a constitution with rules and amendments and the whole deal.
We're going to make us have a whole
right after the show
government with elected officials and stuff.
It's going to be like that Star Wars one where there was just fucking the Politburo just talking for hours.
I mean, we've been doing a really good job just sticking to horror, but this was super gory, so I thought that's close.
I thought it was super gory, and like it has elements of horror. I mean, like the first one's kind of creepy. Have you guys watched the first one in 1995?
I saw it in the theater once. That was it. I don't remember anything about it.
It's not good. I'm very nostalgic about that movie, but it's not good.
I saw scenes from the second one.
Fucking love it. Okay.
Oh boy, is it behind you?
Do I have
it on the shelves? You have to.
I had it at one point. I don't know if I still do.
I saw the scenes from the second one, and it looks awesome. That looks like So Bad It's Good.
I want to do it for So Bad It's Good. I've never watched it. I've only seen clips.
It's really bad. Like I watched it recently because I watched when the trailer hit for this one. I'm like, I got to watch the first 2 Mortal Kombats, and I did. And the first one was still kind of fun, and the second one was just like, oh my god, how did this movie get made? Like who paid money to make this?
I've seen some shots with just the green screen is like, what the fuck?
It's crazy.
It's didn't even light it. Like
no, but
in this movie, in this movie, a couple of questions. Number one, the blonde girl who gets her powers later in the movie,
Sonia.
Did they do her justice? Because I've heard that they changed her a little bit.
They did change her a little bit. I don't know. At first I was like, oh man, they're really doing this character dirty. Like she's like she doesn't have any powers. She doesn't like have anything. She's just kind of like sitting on the sideline. I felt like bad for her.
I did like Scarlet from G.I. Joe or something.
Yeah, it was like they kind of like and I guess at the end they kind of did. And then especially with the whole Kano fight at the end, I thought they kind of brought it around. I guess that's what they were.
I think their fight was my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah.
She
so
kill him pretty easily. I don't know. I was very suspicious of that. I'm like,
now Kano does a heel turn, but the guy with the red eyes is the most Power Ranger of all the villains. he had like a Yonkers voice. Like who was that voice? Like
Yonkers voice.
Are you referring to what the fuck was his name?
The guy with the helmet on. He had
the guy with the helmet and the red eyes.
What the hell was his deal?
What was he's like a I don't know, he's just like a character that shows up later in the video games. He did
Was that a famous voice?
Was it Cabal? No, I don't know. I don't know what he was doing.
The voice
I wasn't the actor. I don't know what kind of voice.
Like they're in another world and he's talking like he's ordering a fucking sandwich down by the deli.
Like, yay!
Like,
what is a meatball? What's a meatball bomb?
Oh, didn't they drop the in dialogue? Didn't he say something like he was busted by Kano or something?
Kano,
yeah, because. Or he was like double crossed by Kano. I don't know. They did like this exposition dump in dialogue that's never a good sign.
But we don't know if his voice was somebody famous.
No.
There were so many goddamn characters in that I can't even keep track of them, and I knew half of them from the games.
Yeah, I think you're talking about Cabal. He was played by Daniel Nelson. Nobody famous. I don't know what he was trying to achieve or what kind of accent. If it was Boston or
was just jarring. It was like
or New York.
Why is this in here? What are you doing?
It was a character choice, okay?
It sure was.
I do want to talk about the one character I really did love though. The Kano dude fucking cracked me up. Some of the lines he said.
His dialogue was great, yeah.
I just don't understand who wrote that dialogue and then who wrote every other character's dialogue in the movie.
I want to say it was improv because it does feel like totally different from the rest of the movie.
There's not the first movie I've seen that happen where somebody is just working in another world.
Yeah,
and he was great.
He was really good. Yeah, it really wasn't until like really kind of when he became a villain, then he almost became bland. He's kind of like an anti-hero at the beginning, and he was just hilarious and just irreverent. Yeah, and then at the end, he was just like, "Oh no, he's just a bad guy. Whatever."
Yeah, bad guy. Got your power. Someone's gonna beat you up and kill you sooner or later.
This is one thing I think I maybe stepped away for a minute. I missed it. Maybe you guys can help me out. Jax, his arms, right? So he gets his arms ripped off, and then like he has like little mini arms, like little mini like metallic arms, and then like at some point he gets like his Jax arms, like he gets like these big ass like. Did they like explain like that happened?
That was his like power. Like was it? Gets the eye thing. Yeah, his power was like growing his metal arms bigger.
I thought it was built in. I thought it was built into the exoskeleton that he had. Like some emotion had to be triggered before that would happen.
No,
I
thought he just watched a lot of Natasha Kinski movies and he built up.
I must have like missed, like walked away or something because like I remembered him. I remembered him having like these small, tiny little Tyrannosaurus metallic arms, and then like later in the movie, I'm like, holy shit, he's got like the actual Jax arms. That was bothering me the entire time.
You didn't see the scene where they started building. And plates are coming out, and
I don't know. Maybe
he basically hulked up like Hulk Hogan, and his arms got bigger, and that was.
I must have missed that entire thing somehow.
Yeah,
I must have been taking a Hunter shit.
He was reading a Lutsky.
Yeah, he might have been.
He was reading. We call it reading Lutsky.
When I saw that happen, I'm like, why didn't they just put those arms on him in the first place?
I know. Like, why'd you put these little bitch arms on him that don't do anything?
Because I was watching, like, it was bothering me the whole movie. I'm like, why does he have like these arms that aren't going to do anything? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, and then I don't know.
There was not enough rehab time for him to get used to those arms. I'm sorry. No. It's going to take a long time for that.
How about the monks that installed them are just masters of genetics and engineering, and they just installed that shit, no problem.
Bioengineering.
Yeah. He was on a freaking stone slab, but they're like doing cybernetic work.
We don't want you at the Mayo Clinic. You stay in that fucking cave or that warehouse and just do your thing there.
You know what they must have done? They must have crossed over to the Marvel universe and kidnapped Tony Stark, and then Tony Stark actually put
that would make sense.
That's the only thing I can think of,
and that would be an interesting character
with good dialogue.
The writing in this was really poor.
Yeah, there's some bad stuff in there, but like I said, I mean, I like Mortal Kombat, so I mean, even though the movie's not great, I still had fun with it. So.
I have a feeling if you are a fan of the game or you grew up with it, you're gonna like this significantly more. And if you were not, you're gonna be like, what is this pile of shit?
I'm interested to see what they do with the follow-up, because obviously they hinted at the end that they're gonna go get Johnny Cage out of Los Angeles.
They kicked you with the nards with it.
Yeah, I like that. So
why he wasn't just the main character instead of this boring
they
dude?
should have done that. They totally should have done that. That would. I felt like maybe that's what it was at some point. They're like, oh yeah, it's Johnny Cage, and he's like, but then I don't know. Maybe they wanted to go
related to Nicolas Cage.
He is. Yeah, they're brothers.
Oh,
Imagine if Nicolas Cage played Johnny Cage.
That would be amazing. He's too old.
Might be happening at this moment. Well,
it'd be amazing.
Rigs on him. He'll be fine.
No.
Why am I not in that movie?
I used to think Nicolas Cage was like he got his name from Johnny Cage, but it turns out that he got it from Luke Cage. That's how he named his name. Also.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's a huge Marvel fan, Nicolas Cage. So yeah, he actually because his real last name, his real last name is Coppola. So he didn't want to go by that. So yeah, he
didn't he name his kid Kal-El?
Yeah, he's a huge comic book fan nerd.
He had
apparently
the first appearance of Superman. I think he owned the comic book for a while.
Have you guys ever seen
he buys a lot of shit, man.
Yeah, he's does.
The craziest collector of all time.
He has like a T-Rex skeleton in his mansion, or he had it.
Yeah.
I think have you ever got, this is completely off topic, but have you guys ever seen like the set photos from the Superman that he was going to be in with?
There's a movie about that.
Dude, that's a phenomenal documentary. Totally worth watching.
I haven't seen that. Is that on Prime, I'm guessing?
I don't know if it's on Prime. I think I paid for it when it first came out because I'm so blown away by that Tim Burton Superman story. Like it's the most mind-boggling thing ever.
I know. I wish that happened.
Oh, me too.
But all I know is if my dad named me Kal-El, I would slip something in his drink and saw his fucking head off while he slept.
You'd have to do all the steroids so people didn't kick the shit out of you.
I mean, God almighty. What are you doing to me, buddy? Jerks.
I'm done.
All right. So
I'm tired.
So Hunter, that's in your top 30 horror movies of all time.
I've seen, you know what this movie made me want to do? Watch a good kung fu movie. Even watch a quasi decent kung fu movie, and I'll be happy. So there you go. It inspired me to go in that direction.
I'm gonna go watch Kung Pao Enter the Fist.
Nice.
Have you guys not seen that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's the guy puts himself in the old movie.
I'm more of a Kung Fu Hustle fan myself.
That one didn't really land with me.
Oh no, I love that movie. It's so good.
That's a fun movie.
Okay.
All right. So next week we're looking at doing the Shudder vampire movie, The Boys from Hell County, I think it's called.
Oh yes. We're gonna get our brogues. Everyone practice your brogues for next week. We're gonna
So if you have Shudder, you can watch this. If not,
get Shudder. You
get
need it.
Shudder.
Support Joe Bob, you fools.
Right. And anything else to add before we get out of here?
Make the pain end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please. Shoot us.
Share us on social, and we'll see you next week, everybody. Bye.
Good night, Kal-El, wherever you are.